Hello, guys. Hi, everyone. This is the start to the new year, and we're going to be
Hello.
Happy New Year, everyone. First of all,
Hello.
New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hope you all had a good one. So we're on CD 12. Okay, so this is a short CD, but we're going to get through it, and it's really exciting. So we're going to recap CD 11. So CD 11 was self-empowering, and it was all about how to handle a bad event, criticism, disappointment, judgment, and what we can do about it. So that is things like focusing, because focus creates success, and also the Callahan technique. So he went through that as well. And it was all about how you can stay motivated and what blocks us from using the technique, about self-imposed limitations that we have, that we have the power to change our conditions, that we're not a victim of our reality. And he also talked about that we can change any situation, any event, any circumstance that we don't like. And CD 12 is a reminder that your wish is your command, and that you have Aladdin's lamp. And he also goes through a book list, a very powerful basic book list that you can start with, that can literally change your life if you really absorb it. And it's not what you want, and it's not the stuff that you get, but it's the person that you become. That's the most important thing while you're doing this process. So let's begin, shall we?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna dive into track 1 of CD 12. Okay, so here Kevin Trudeau, he goes through all the freedom benefits of having your own Aladdin's lamp, your own personal genie. And he reels off the things and the feelings that you can experience in this world. And the fact that you can be, do, and have anything and everything you want, and you can experience absolute abundance, essentially. But guys, what's the catch? Yeah, what is holding us back from using our personal genie, from rubbing that lamp on a day-to-day basis, and from experiencing this absolute abundance? Why isn't the majority of people not living this magical, stress-free, abundant, freeing life, but that where whatever they desire can just, come true for them in their physical reality? So what is holding us back?
I think I'm gonna reply all the answers today.
Yes.
I
hope you got your shoes on.
I think I think it's a very good question, but I don't know if it's because all of the negative energy we have in our mind, the black negative energy we've developed during the years, right?
Yep, that's definitely all those old neural pathways. Oh, Oscar said something in Spanish.
Yeah, the old neural pathways. Yeah.
All neural programming.
Yeah, Oscar is saying neural pathways and the programming.
Yeah. And don't you think this is not something that's in the CD, but sometimes I think that in this day and age there's so many distractions as well.
Yeah.
So there's so much like 24/7 social media, messages being bombarded to you all the time. It's way more than back in the day when we didn't have smartphones and we didn't have many TV channels. And so I think there's just too many distractions, and that also comes in the way as well.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking about.
And the fact that, many people are constantly being triggered, and it just makes you feel bad. And, the magic of all of this is feeling good now. That's where the power is at, right? If we're like day-to-day basis, most people are feeling bad, like, because they're constantly being triggered by their environment. It's constantly throwing them off track. When do they get the chance and the opportunity to think about what they want, to feel gratitude and appreciation and love, and think about their desires? They're just not in that vibrational frequency to even access those thoughts, because they're constantly feeling bad and triggered. And like I have like real life examples of that, and then you realize, wow, like how could that person or that person ever think about their desires when they're feeling like this? So the key is that we want to be consistently using our power and these techniques to increase our positive ball of energy and reduce the negative ball of energy. So there comes a point in time where when that happens, we reach unconscious competence, right, level. And
you mind if I add something? Is it really loud, the car, or is it okay?
It's
Oh,
fine.
it's a fine.
It's okay. It's okay.
The car, yeah.
It's okay, is it?
Yeah.
I stayed at my father's for 4 days over Christmas, and he has Sky TV, and I don't watch any TV. And I had the shock of my life in a new unit of time where I am now. The bad energy, the adverts, the
Yeah.
I was nearly in tears. I could not believe what they're putting on TV.
Yeah.
You know, bad things in the adverts, and also the actual TV programs themselves.
Yeah.
I just wanted to jump and just add that in as well.
Yeah, Jamie,
100%,
100%.
Jamie.
And it's funny because when you don't watch any TV and then you
Yes.
see some adverts, you're like,
It really
hits you.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Because
I said,
I couldn't believe it.
go on, carry on. Sorry. Yeah.
you, no, go on. You carry on,
You
Jamie.
carry on.
No, but basically, like, we've got a Fire Stick, me and my fiance, and all I do is listen to Kevin Trudeau, or I listen to Greg on your channel, Kashmir. That whole speech when he talks about splitting the electron,
Yeah.
and he talks about the electron gets split and turns into a wave when you look at it, or a particle.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the kids having diseases. When on the adverts of Sky, I was like, Dad, what are you doing watching this? He said, it's TV. I said, that's not TV. That's utterly horrible. Every other advert was something to do with, just to add in where I had the shock of my life over Christmas. So just to add that footnote in.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel, Jamie, because I went through the same phenomena when I was at the cinema last week, and 2 adverts came up, and I was like, these adverts are so toxic, they're so evil, they're taking you away from nature intended, and everyone else was just watching it as if it's just nothing but a normal advert, completely desensitized to it. But it really grabs us because we have this awareness, and this higher level of consciousness. So so then when you consistently engage in this material, Kevin Trudeau's material, like JV, like you actively listen to, there's a point where our positive ball of energy becomes bigger than our negative ball of energy. And then when that happens, we get to unconscious competence, and luck is on our side, momentum is on our side, everything works our way. That's when life becomes magical, and you're out of that stuck in a rut, hamster on a wheel kind of thinking, and you've broken that thinking and feeling cycle that was negative. And now all of a sudden you instantly pop back to the positive programming, like neural pathways, because the negative neural pathways have become weaker because you've practiced feeling good and thinking right. So so there's a saying that goes like this: you can either be a wandering generality or a meaningful specific. And maybe some of you guys know where that came from. I think it was Zig Ziglar, see you at the top. But then Kevin, so that's just what I added in because I thought this sounds similar to what Kevin is saying. Kevin used the analogy of a ship without a rudder, right? You can be a ship without a rudder and no engine being tossed around the waves and wind and just.
That's on the Earl Nightingale as well.
Yeah, it's
Earl Nightingale. He says it as well, doesn't he?
He did, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he says like a ship without a rudder for a man where he doesn't know where he's going. I think it was on Earl Nightingale. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can either be tossed, tossed around the waves, just a ship without the rudder, or you can be on a ship that's a nuclear powered vessel, right? Steering that ship by your own will and at your own choice, using your own decision power. So obviously this is a very empowering place to be. So that's you being like a meaningful specific, you're living on purpose. So my question to you guys is, he goes on to say, what are the steps you can take? How do you engage in the system so you don't let life throw you off track, right? And what does it consist of? How do you keep focused on the material and increase that positive ball of energy?
Books, events, and listen to these CDs.
Yeah, over and over and over again.
What also helps, I think, is having masterminds like this.
Yeah.
Keeps us on track as well.
Focus on track.
I'd just like to say something.
Yeah.
I'm buzzing.
Oh, that's so good.
I'm chuffed. I'm chuffed.
This was
I
your
can't believe I
design.
nearly missed it because I was trying to get yes, it's amazing because it makes you realize you're not, I don't want to say on your own, but because there's very, very few people, especially the population that knows this stuff, you know, all of us in our lives, we talk to people every day. And I think we just see it in a different world, like aliens, as Kevin Trudeau says. We're seeing the world like we're walking around like an alien. You can just see the teachability index. You can see what people are saying. Well, how though? How? One of my best friends has incredible energy and really, really funny, and he could be an incredible salesman. And I said to him, he works in a dog's kennel, and he's been there for 10 years. And I said, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? And he said, yeah, but how? I'm like, yeah, but you know, just laughing to yourself, thinking, well, because the frequency is smaller than matter, but don't worry about it.
Keep looking at it. Yeah. That would be the educated answer to give. So the next question was like, what are the benefits of having a mastermind, of working together with like-minded people like we're doing now?
Our brains are being synchronized, no, and we create that mastermind, no. And it's very interesting, like the analogy of the horses, no?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Like two horses pull, like not twice, it's like it's multiplied, right?
It's
Yes,
multiplied.
exactly. Yeah. Two
Yes,
horses.
I'm standing up to the pressure.
Yeah, the power increases exponentially, and you know, our power and ability to broadcast a frequency goes up because you're plugged into other like minds. You know, our brains are transmitters and receivers of frequency, energy, and vibration. So we're picking up each other's brain frequency.
There's something, I think, Oscar, I remember he told me once. Voy a decir una cosa, Oscar, que tú me dijiste que hay una trampa en Piensa y Hágase Rico de la Mastermind, que si son mentes negativas, crean el negativo, ¿no?
Es una trampa.
Oscar, like, once told me, like, there is like a trap in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, because if the masterminds or the people are negative, they're gonna create like negative vibrations if everybody are negative. So it's like I mean, if you are not in the unconscious competence level, you create for negative, ¿no?
Si ya es difícil encontrar a uno positivo, imagínate unos cuantos.
Yeah. It's tough to find someone who's very, very positive person. So imagine finding many people who are positive.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. That would be so powerful. Having lots, you know, many people, even in the hundreds, that would be incredible. You know, the power in that.
I mean, Jamie, if you watched the Greg Braden lecture recently, the Divine Matrix from my YouTube channel, do you remember what the square root was of, if there was a certain amount of people in this world that got together and broadcasted the frequency of peace, you know, you could actually create world peace? He gave like a number. Do you remember?
I don't know.
Really?
I think it was wasn't it the square root of the world's population at the time? So that was 7,000 or 8,000 and something people.
Am I right in saying that this was Kevin Trudeau's whole goal at the end, was to change the global consciousness? He says in level 3.
Yeah, level 3. That's what he was. Yeah.
When he went in deeper and deeper into the levels, and he was saying, "Do you understand now? I've been trying to change because there's a global consciousness around the world, and his goal is to change the amount of." Am I right, or is something like that?
I think so, and I think a lot of teachers are doing this. I know Dr. Joe Dispenza's ideal ultimate thing is
goal
to
and aim. Yeah,
he calls it Project Coherence, which is really just raising the consciousness of the planet. So each individual person makes a difference, but collectively we can also make a huge difference collectively, global difference on a global scale, for the whole planet. So I think with Greg Braden, it was the square root of the world's population, and they did I think it was Princeton University, I can't remember, they did an experiment where they did that, and then all the fighting and the violence in the Middle East went down, while a huge amount of people meditating peace.
crime rates, everything went down. I think he showed this on a chart.
Oscar is saying that already happened. and that's why we're in a transition period.
Yes, yes, you're right.
Yes, Oscar.
Eso es como el experimento de Monkey 101.
Yeah, the monkey syndrome.
The monkey syndrome. I know what he said there. I understood that. Yeah, the monkey syndrome. Yeah. 100
monkey syndrome. Yeah. So, yeah. So track 3 then. So Kevin Trudeau, so he gave an excellent recommended basic book reading list of 15 books. So that's not including the other 3, which is Christian biblical books. Then he said, you know, it's your decision if you want to read those or not. But they are, you know, for our audience members. So I'm going to read them out, the book list, in order to which, in the order in which Kevin recommends you to read these books. So number 1 was The Magic of Thinking Big. Okay. Number 2 was See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. Number 3 was Ask and It Is Given by Jerry and Esther Hicks. Number 4 was The Secret by Rhonda Burns. Number 5 was, he said, Psycho-Cybernetics. Number 6 was Law of Success in 16 Lessons by Napoleon Hill. 7 was Think and Grow Rich, also by Napoleon Hill. 8 was The Magic of Believing by Claudia Bristol. Number 9 was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Number 10 was The Go-Getter. Number 11 was The Power of Positive Thinking. Who was that by again? I get mixed up. Norman
Vincent Peale.
Yeah, The Power of Positive Thinking. Yeah.
Power of Positive Thinking. Number 12 was The Game of Work, and 13 was Rich Dad, Poor Dad
by Robert
Kiyosaki. Oh yeah. The other 3 was the biblical books, Hung by the Tongue, a creative force, and what you see is what you get.
Actually, just out of interest, did anyone read the biblical ones?
I have one, but I haven't. I didn't read it.
Eso yo no los he conseguido en español, esos.
Yeah, Oscar is saying that he hasn't achieved to get those in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
They're only in English.
Oh, they're only in English. Yeah. So
Los de la lengua.
Yeah, I have the one Hung by a Tongue, but I haven't read it.
I read it. Okay, yeah. We never even bought the biblical ones. We just concentrated on the other ones, and we read all of them, and we read some of them twice. Maybe the odd one 3 times, but not all of them
20 times.
What
about you, Jay?
Can I have one question, please?
Yes.
In Spain, the book of Liz is very, very, very expensive. In United Kingdom is igual?
Oscar is saying the list of books in Spain are very expensive. Like most of them are like more expensive than usual. And he's asking you if in United Kingdom are also that expensive or normal price.
So I got many of these are second-hand books, so I managed to get them like kind of
second-hand book. Really?
Yeah. I researched a lot online.
There's a website. There's a few websites that do second-hand books. So
but you couldn't get those in Amazon, or
you can get them in Amazon, but the second-hand version is really cheap. It's under £5.
Okay.
Really,
and you, Jaime?
Jamie.
And you?
I think I bought them for about £15. I think I bought 6 or 7 of the books. I've read 3 of them: Think and Grow Rich, The Secret, As a Man Thinketh, which, as he says, to put in your toilet. So I did. And the other ones. I think I bought not the one he recommended, but the God, I've gone blank on the spot. About £15 I spent on Amazon. Each one around
15 pounds, como 20 o 25 euros.
Pues entonces es en español solo.
It's because in Spanish, for example, the magic of believing, la magia de creer, it's like 40 or 50 euros. And then the law of success, las leyes del éxito, it's like it's very tough to find that book. It's muy difícil encontrar ese libro. So, and Oscar was saying, and it's very interesting why like these books are like more expensive than
More
La
expensive.
magia de pensar en grande, 80 euros. 88.
The Magic of Thinking Big, Oscar got it for 80 euros.
What?
That's so expensive
That's
for
insane.
a book.
This was
Because
a
we,
second-hand
because we
book,
paid
paperback.
maybe not for the second hand, but for the originals, we paid maybe 10 to 15 pounds.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Only
But
Law of
the
Success
only
was
Law of Success,
that was 30 pounds.
that was
from
30
eBay.
pounds because we were trying to find the
Hardback cover.
original
That was
hardback
hard
cover.
to find. Yeah, then we found the original. We found like a hardback cover, Law of Success in 16 lessons for about 30 pounds from eBay. But all the others were literally between.
I'll say 10 and 15
Yeah,
or
10 and
something.
15
And if it
or
was
3
second hand
pounds.
book, it was under £5 or
Oh,
something.
yeah,
Really,
5,
really
6,
cheap.
7
Poor.
pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Nice,
very
nice.
Wow, that's
surprised.
really
But Spain is like
surprised.
40,
Yeah.
50, 80 euros. What?
Yeah, and also the books of Esther Hicks, like some of them, like
Yeah.
I think I told you, Kashmir, like the tale of Sarah. I think the Sarah book of Esther Hicks in one place is 900 euros,
100.
and in other one it was like 150 euros. So like really crazy, yes.
You could go to a gym retreat with that amount of money. No, that's
Yeah,
That's a
crazy.
lot. Yeah.
You could go on like holiday and back. Oh, yes.
I think Jamie's trying to speak.
Oh,
it's
Jamie,
connections,
you're
isn't it?
freezing up.
Yeah, you, Jamie.
Yeah, personally, I've never. Sorry, I think I've never even thought about the price. Okay. Carry on. Carry on. You guys carry on.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask you guys a question, like, have you read any of the books from the, from the basic book reading list, and which ones, which books, if any, like had the biggest impact on you? And
Oscar, ¿cuántas veces, si te has leído los libros, y cuál es el que más te ha inspirado?
Pues me habré leído como 7 o 8 veces todos, menos el de La Ley del Éxito en 16 lecciones, que ese solo 2.
Sí.
Y la verdad que de los que más me ha inspirado es del poder del pensamiento positivo y el de la magia de creer.
Qué bueno. He has read them like 7 or 8 times, like each one. But the Law of Success just 2 times because too big. And the ones like he has been like more inspired was the power of positive thinking and the magic of believing.
Magic of Believing, yeah, that was a really
It's very amazing. To me, I just read like 4 times each one. And to me, Law of Success is a really amazing book to me. And See You at the Top is like, wow, I feel very, very inspired by that book.
Oh, that's great. And what about you, Jamie? Or has he frozen?
Jamie is frozen.
Jamie, no coberture.
And what about you? You too?
For me, Abraham Hicks, Asking It's Given was a big one.
Asking It Is Given.
Yeah. And I think it was not the Magic of Believing, the other one, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I loved that book. Absolutely.
I want to read that one again.
Dale Carnegie, yes.
And you, Kashmir, was there?
Actually, it's not even on this list, but it was the second book from Rhonda Byrne's called The Power Book. That really changed me.
Yeah.
That was my turning point. I actually grabbed that book first for some reason, and then actually I came across Kevin Trudeau and
The Power by Rhonda Byrne. I haven't
the
read.
second one.
¿Te lo has leído, Oscar? El Poder de Rhonda Byrne.
No.
So that was my turning point as well. The Power. It was very powerful. It was a very easy book compared to some of the other books, but it was the thing that really
just grabbed your heart,
resonates.
me.
Yeah,
it covers
Okay,
all
okay.
areas of your life. Tells you simply everything, the whole law of attraction. You create your own reality, you cause this and that and the other, and how you can change it.
But more focused towards gratitude and love.
More focused towards gratitude
all
and
areas
love,
of your life.
So you should call it the force of love, right?
Y el libro que me he leído hace poco 3 veces es A Quién Escuchar, que es increíble.
We've read like several times because, in the Kevin Trudeau teachings, Kevin has like a training of who do you listen to, like 6 or 7 parts. So we've just read that, like Oscar has read that already like 3 or 4 times.
Es increíble cómo amplía la visión de a quién escuchar. Es
Like
increíble.
it's really amazing. The training of who do you listen to is like really.
Yeah.
It's really. I don't know if you've seen those posts.
No, who do you listen?
No.
No.
Well, then I will send. I mean, it's really amazing. Like it's like like a blog, like 6 blogs, and it's all about a training of who do you listen to. And it's like, why should you listen to this? And it's really amazing. And I just translated that to Spanish and give it to Oscar. And I mean, it's really amazing.
Oh, well, definitely, if you can share that. That would
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Yeah, put that in the group, Armin, and I'd love to have a look at that.
Yeah. It's really amazing.
Okay. And Jamie, you seem to be back online now. So,
yes.
What's your favorite book out of the ones you've read so far?
Mine would be Think and Grow Rich and The Magic of Believing. So I read a lot of The Magic of Believing. I remember there was a couple of stories in there that really grabbed me, that made a lot of sense. One of them, I think, was, I've only read it twice, and it was last year. I haven't read it since. I've been reading Happy Pocket Full of Money. I've been reading that a lot.
Oh, yes.
It was a story. It was a story to do with a guy. They've got the kettle story in Think and Grow Rich with the Coca-Cola. What made sense to me in The Magic of Believing was everything comes from a thought. And when I got that in my head, something really simple, everything comes from a thought. That stuck with me, and that sort of springboarded me into everything.
Yeah.
Very simple, but that's what I got out of it.
But
In
really
lockdown
powerful,
last
yeah.
year.
Simple but
That's
powerful.
what one of them was a businessman in The Magic of Believing, when he got turned down 3 or 4 times by something. So that's what springboarded me.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you. No, thank you for
sharing.
sharing.
Yes. So Katie touches on about the importance of knowing the score. So he goes on to talking about that, but particularly when it comes to making money, like if you're in a business. So the question to you guys is, can you recall what like technique or process he like kind of goes through, which will help keep you focusing on what you want when you're making money?
Wait.
Could you repeat the question, Kashmeer? Sorry.
Yeah, Kevin goes through a technique about like how to focus on like increasing your income, particularly when you're trying to make more money in your business. And so he goes to like a specific technique that you can do, like something that can help you to make you focus on like the money increasing. So do you know what that is? What he says?
It was, I think, basically it were like 2, like the physical graphs and then the number, like the score. No, and then I think it was like the net worth, the something every month, and something else. No, like 3 of them or something like that. No.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you got the right gist of it, Armand. That's the kind of answer I was looking for. Yeah, he talks about using physical graphs that you can put up on the wall, and you can, so you're seeing them all the time. And obviously, strangest secret is you become what you think about most of the time. So that act is of you focusing on that graph all the time, and then you see as a graph. So that's you knowing the score, because now you have statistics on certain variables of your business, and then you can chart them. So he talks about, about how much money I'm making, how much money I'm bringing in. And then by looking at it, it causes you to focus and make the income.
There's a very awesome training of another score engine. I don't know if you've heard it. It's like another score training. And it's really amazing because Kevin is with a group. I mean, I think when he's in Gene and he's teaching like the no score system. And he's just telling everybody, okay, watch this graph grow, okay? And then go sleep. And then, so he just, he's telling everybody to watch the graph go up and then go, not go sleeping, but you can rest and everything. So they were visualizing that graph going up, up and up. And then when they start to work, in 2 weeks, the graph really exploded.
Armand, ¿puedes decir que me encanta la historia de Kevin del audio del marcador cuando bate récord de ventas y le llega a uno y le dice, no, pero en realidad tienes que hacerlo de esta manera y se ríe?
Sí, sí, sí. Le estoy contando eso. Le estoy contando justo eso. Yeah, Oscar is saying like the same thing. Because there is an audio of the note score, like, which is really amazing. And also in that audio, Kevin also tells the story of the secret audios, of Napoleon Hill, it's very, like, it's really awesome.
I think this is
I have,
everyone part 5 of the Success Mastery course, because the audios are actually titled Know the Score, and there's about another set of audios in there, like 4 or 5.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I remember hearing them, but we've only actually gone through that once, so I definitely want to go through one. The rest of Success Masterclass, there's part 2, 3, 4, pattern on leadership, Know the Score, manifesting your desires. Yes, so
when you asked the question, Kashmeer, I totally forgot what the answer was. And then when Armin just said it now about graphs, or you said it about graphs, I've been doing sports trading for 9 months to 10 months, and the first 3 months I failed. I didn't fail, but I was in a conscious competence mentality, still learning the trading. And when I employed that with a graph on spreadsheets to see where I was going wrong, to see where I was going right, and since I've done that, my trading's gone like that in the last 6 months.
Wow, really?
No. But Jamie, the physical graph, you put like a specific, like a time frame, like 6 months, 12 months, or how long?
No, I put so with my bank size with the sports trading, you work on a 40% return each month. So that's my mini first goal. And when I started putting on the spreadsheets of the exact match, the time, the decimal symbols I went in with, the reason why I entered the trade, that has skyrocketed my trading massively, because I know exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. So I totally forgot your question, Kashmeer, but I used it.
You used it. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's why I started. The first 3 months I was called Blow My Bank. So I started with I'll say here with a £500 bank, and that went because I made silly mistakes. Then I replenished my bank and started again. And then when I started really putting the material to action that Kevin said in CD12, the last 6 months have been, as you said, like a graph that have been put on spreadsheets, but they're similar, and I hang them up on my wall opposite my office. So yeah, I thought that'd be quite cool to share, because I used it, but I didn't know I was doing it. But I did know I was doing it.
Oh my god. Yeah, you used it, but you didn't know you did it. You have to use the technique. So Katie goes on to say, all this material exposed and taught to you here in Your Wishes, Your Command audio series is everything you in fact need to manifest your desires. But this is the beginning. This is the starting point. This is the tip of the iceberg, the scratch of the surface, like he said. But it's not the end. He says,
actually straight to the surface.
Yeah, it's typical Kevin saying. But obviously, how do you learn it? You learn it by doing it, right? You learn it by getting off the bench, getting into the game and playing the game of life, because life is just a game that you're playing. And he goes, every time you do it, you employ these techniques that you experience a result and you get to fine tune it. So you're constantly desiring something, then you manifest it. Oh, this is not exactly what I wanted. Okay, let me fine tune it more. Or you get what you want, but then you have the next desire. You're constantly launching rockets of desire. So the next question is, there are 2 types of people in this world. And who are they? And what do they do to society?
You're talking about the secret societies, no?
The parasitical and the
Exactly. Those are the 2 groups of people in this world. But what are they doing to society? Which one is like, you have the the dark force versus the light force?
Parasitical lives off your labor, and Kevin is the one that wants to he sort of come out, so to speak.
Yes, exactly. There's
like a Star Wars.
Yeah, it reminds me of Star Wars.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? It's something I'm not sure about. So we watched a video about the 1% that controls the entire planet, and including the education system, you know, food and drug industry, etc.
Transportation.
So with the food and education system, with the education system, they said Andrew Carnegie was involved with that in actually defining and shaping the education system.
Very good question.
So then I wonder, was Andrew Carnegie one of the good people,
the good guys,
or the bad guys?
This got us.
I also had that question, and it's a really good question. I think I'm gonna ask Oscar, because I have my own, maybe Oscar knows. Oscar, Meenal hizo una pregunta muy buena que yo también tenía, que dice que claro, que el 1% de la gente, bueno, de las élites controlan la educación, pero que dice que Andrew Carnegie, que también estaba envuelto ahí, entonces claro, ¿era uno de los buenos o de los malos, o qué pasó?
I think I have an idea. I'll let Oscar go first.
Yo creo que no hay que darle mucha vuelta, simplemente hay que coger lo bueno, como no lo vamos a llegar a saber nunca, cogemos lo bueno y lo demás lo hacemos bueno.
Me parece bien. Oscar is saying that it doesn't matter, like take the good thing and keep going. It doesn't matter at all.
I think I have an answer. This is what I heard in, I think, the live training on number 2 or number 3. And Kevin asked any questions or comments, observations, or what I've just said. And some guy in the audience said that Andrew Carnegie at the start was on the parasitical. And then when he had this movement of wanting to be on the good side, he then went the other way into putting his money into libraries. I think Andrew Carnegie was parasitical elite class, and then he had like a movement where he just wanted to help society. But at the start, he had bad employee practices, he had bad workman places, and that's all I know on that with the live training, where he was bad and he was on the bad energy side, but earning a lot of money, and then he changed. That's what I think that the answer is.
Oh, so then that connects the dots and makes sense to that documentary. So
yeah, and then why he then hired Napoleon Hill to write the book, and you know, to expose it to the masses.
That's all I saw on
on
that live. Like, I don't know how I remember it, but I remember him saying, you know, when at the start he was doing bad employee practices, he was doing bad this, bad that, and he made all the money, and then he had a euphoric moment where, okay, I'm going to help people and put it into libraries and what have you.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Aman, was there any ideas that you had about it, or just?
It's very similar to Jamie's. I think he was on the dark side at the beginning, and then I think this is my theory. I guess he regrets what he did, and then he just turned to the Jedi side, you know, and because then there's no reason why he did that, you know, with Think and Grow Rich and everything, and also Kevin admires him, you know, so it's that's my point of view.
Yeah, and then as well as what Oscar says is, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, who cares?
Who cares?
Good.
That's it.
So obviously Kevin, being another one, found that adding value to society gave him the highest level of bliss. Now, obviously, Kevin goes on to say about all the things he manifested, right? He said, I wanted the yachts, I got it. I got to go in the Concorde, I got to fly 10 times, I got it. I got to taste the finest caviar, I got it. You know, fine wine and dining, what does he have? The cigars and the Chardonnay and everything. He got everything he wanted, the butlers, the chefs, the private jet. But my question to you guys is, what was the phenomena that Kevin found to be the most important and of value that occurred to him when using this material, when using this
all
process?
that matters is feeling good now.
Yeah, he does, but it does say that you're feeling good right now, but also there was something else he said, Jamie. Guys, you know, so while he's in the process of manifesting his desires, he got everything he wanted, but then what does he go on to say? What did he realize? What was the phenomena? And he's trying to make us realize that too.
Because
what was the point of it? This is the main thing, like the most important thing. And I did mention it at the very beginning of our session.
The person you become, no?
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. He said at the end of the day, guys,
It's the person.
because it's not the stuff you get, you know, it's the person you become. And you know, he says it with such a
I love the way he says stuff.
Yeah.
He goes around Lamborghinis, yacht, cigar. Who cares about the stuff? My friend has stuff. He likes stuff. I don't like stuff. I care about the stuff.
I remember him saying that. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's just stuff. You know, it's that internal change that happens within you, and
Yeah.
you become a different person. You think differently, you'll be feeling differently, you'll be walking differently, you'll be talking differently. It's almost like you've created a new version of yourself through this whole process, the best version of yourself, and you continue to grow. So this is
So you know, he says the integrity, the honesty, the character, the love, the forgiveness, the gratitude, the appreciation, you know, the gratefulness is what is really all about, he says. And life is about feeling good right now. That's what I wanted to say.
True.
See, I was partly right.
you were Jamie.
That's it.
He
Yeah.
says-
He ends
Says
it.
about stuff. Sorry, I don't know if you knew me to the connection. He says all about the stuff. Who cares about the stuff? All that matters is how do you feel? If you've got 5 yachts and 2 Ferraris, if you feel terrible or depressed, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know for sure that there are people who do seem to have it all in terms of the stuff,
Monetary,
but they could be
financial,
very unhappy inside,
depressed,
and
anxious.
depressed.
I think
commit
and we
suicide.
also know the opposite of people who don't have as much but are feeling extremely grateful and happy.
Skipping through life
Yeah.
with glee. Yeah. So the summary of CD
I
12.
wonder what amazing things are going to happen today.
Yeah,
Like,
you're-
it's like a Christmas present. Every day is only like a Christmas present. I wonder.
Yeah, and, and isn't it just wonderful that, like, if you could wake up every morning and think, oh, I wonder what wonderful, like, wonderful magical surprises and things that are going to happen today, you know, so every day feels fresh and new rather than the same old day doing the same old things. You know, what's new, what's going to show up in my life today? It's such a exciting, fun way to live. And, you know, I must confess, I don't feel like that a lot of the times, but when I do, it's the whole day goes really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oscar, I bet you wake up.
They say that in the
Sorry,
go on.
no, I'm just saying about Oscar because he's always so smiling and
Yeah,
happy.
he's always happy.
I bet he
Everyone
wakes
loves
up every
Oscar.
morning thinking, oh, you
¿Cuál
know.
ha sido la pregunta? ¿Que cómo me siento?
No, que dice Mina que ella a veces no se siente bien todo el día, pero que cuando le va bien, que está muy bien, y que te ve a ti y dice, Oscar seguro que se levanta por la mañana así, está tengo que una sonrisa, llena de amor.
Yes.
Oh.
Soy un bicho raro.
Y bicho raro means he is a weird guy.
He's just too happy.
You're just too happy. That's suspicious, sospechoso.
Yeah, why is he so
What's your
happy?
secret?
I think, Meenal, this year for yourself, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but with your job in the place you don't really want to be, it's not really allowed you to have that in the mornings or in the day. Maybe now it could be like your opportunity to completely wipe the canvas clean and write down what you want in life and things.
Yes.
I don't know if that's out of
Yeah.
order or if that's right.
Oh, no.
Because every single morning I wake up and I'm not happy, but I've got the Callahan technique for the first 20 to 30 seconds, and I've got the tools to use it to make myself happy. So when I have my shower or I brush my teeth in the morning, by the 5 minutes later, I'm really appreciative and grateful and happy. So I think it's a more of I think with Oscar, like obviously with Oscar, it's like more of I don't know if it's a skill or inbred in some people, but for me, I've had to learn it because of the way I got brought up. Because my mum, my nan, and my stepdad were clinically depressed. So for me, it's a skill, but it works every single time. And things happen throughout the day that are just cool for me personally. I don't know if that helps. Or
No,
Oh,
that
that
does.
really
Thank
helps
you so
greatly,
much, Amy.
yes.
That's such a wonderful thing that you said,
There's
and
a lot of people
and
must be
shared.
going through this.
yeah, and it does take some effort, you know, in the morning
Because
to get up, and then you intentionally put on the music that you like, intentionally do the Callahan technique.
Think of things
Think
to
of
be
grateful
grateful for,
for.
do an appreciation
Yeah.
drill. You know, it's a skill, like you said. Remember, Jamie, you said in the beginning, like feeling good is a skill.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you think the whole point of Kevin Trudeau's practices are to increase our positive wall of energy and reduce negative ball?
it's so cool. It's so cool because I'm in a humble part of where I live. It's not big and flash, and I couldn't be any happier where I am. I've been to £1 million houses. I've stayed with Ronnie O'Sullivan, Mark Selby, all my heroes in the snooker world who are multi-millionaires. And I think, I don't know if you guys would be shocked, but I think you would be quite shocked at how miserable they are because they're engaging negative energy, revenge, anger, hatred. I'm going to beat him. I got to beat him. He beat me last time. And I'm just there sort of floating about.
yeah,
And everyone's engaging negative energy, and they're getting the stuff, they're getting the ranking points, and they're getting the money, and I'm still getting that, but on a more blissful, not blissful, but a lot happier
a lot
situation.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge skill for me to learn around all these negative people.
around all the negativity around you.
Influence,
Yeah,
They-
I think in some
they
ways
can't really touch you.
yeah, but in some ways,
Yeah,
like,
you see-
sometimes when you have those sort of negative people around you, it pushes you and encourages you to work harder at being happy as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like that kind of
Yeah.
that contrast that you get.
Yeah,
you
the
think, right, I'm
contrast.
gonna focus even harder on being happy and
Yeah.
and doing those practices. So I think that's great what you're doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were saying.
Pain pushes you to greatness, isn't it? It's like the
Exactly.
osmosis effect, like a high concentration of negativity. You just can't help but just go the other way. Nah, I can't take this anymore. Like, I'm going to think this way and I'm going to go in this direction.
Yeah.
It really
It's
does-
good. He says to me, if you can't feel happy or what have you, whatever emotion you're feeling, he
Yeah.
says if you are feeling angry or depressed, try and get too angry and use the negative energy to your advantage rather than just let it be negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen it throughout all my heroes I've met on the snooker circuit. I know them. I've stayed with them. I've seen how they live. I've seen their energy. There's the odd one or two that's happy, but a large majority, even though they're lifting the trophy at the end of the tournament and it's on TV and they're celebrities, it's nothing. That's what the biggest thing I've selfishly learned from all this is that everyone's chasing the dragon. There's a phrase called chasing the dragon on the tour where you try your whole life to get somewhere and you get there and it's nothing like you thought it'd be. And it's the same as every billionaire. It's the same as every golfer. They all say the same thing because you stop growing. Because I don't know if this makes a difference, guys, but because we are spiritual and we're in the universe and we have to grow in to get what we want. And then when we hit that mark, I think it's bliss to have won the gold medal. Thought, oh, this is nothing like we thought it'd be. So it's I don't know if that's any point, but it made sense to me.
Yeah,
But,
no, it does.
So many people are realizing this.
Yeah, even if you get what you want,
Yes.
just know that it's not all that. I suppose. I think that's yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's the whole
Just remember, success and happiness is a journey, not a destination. Why do you think Kevin said that? Like, it really is true. And Jim Carrey said, I hope everybody gets rich and famous because once they get here, they'll realize that this isn't it. That's like his famous quote, man. It's 100% hits the nail on the head, man. And so many like celebrities realizing this. I know Keanu Reeves is waking up as well. Like, he just sits with bums. He just went on the train like normal, like a public citizen. He's not even into all this superficial.
lives quite a
very
humble
simple,
life.
humble, peaceful life. Yeah, there's loads, and some of them commit suicide and everything. Like, they're definitely not happy, even if it looks like they have it all.
When so sorry, just one more thing. But what I said, where I live in Wales, I could live sort of somewhere different, but I'm like personally really happy there. And some of the people I know are saying, well, why are you living there? You're not doing very well. And I'm thinking, really, is that where you're at mentally? Like, how far behind these people are, where you can have the next house and the next house and the next house, and then you get there and you're like, well, I was happy in the first house. So yeah, so sorry about that. Carry on there.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Jamie. So we're going to go on to saying about the summary of CD12. So it's all, the CD12 was actually about a summary of everything you can do with the material, information, knowledge that's been presented to you this far in the audios, and how you can be, do, and have anything and everything you desire, and how to continue engaging and staying motivated with this material so you can increase your positive ball of energy, allow it to become bigger than your negative ball of energy, and that you thus get to unconscious competence with this new way of life that's serving you. And in CD13, Kevin goes through some questions and answers. So he answers various questions from members of the audience that attended the Your Wish is Your Command seminar. And he gives many interesting and fascinating answers, such as how we co-create like our car accidents, right? How the magic of having faith, the size of a mustard seed, that's all you need. And blessed are those who believe, right? And a lot more about how our emotional guidance system works. Okay, so that's what we have to look forward to in CD13, which will be the next session.
We're almost coming to the end, guys.
Everyone. We will be blessed.
We just about heard
What
Jamie.
happened to Jamie?
Like, oh.
We could just hear parts of what Jamie was saying. Oh, well,
So thank you all for attending this session.
do you have, just before we wrap up, does anybody else have anything to add, anything they'd like to add?
Any questions, comments, observations, or comments?
I could talk for about
Yeah,
talk for 6. So carry on, Armin. Carry on.
No, yeah, I just wanted to share, like, I'm reading the second book of Esther Hicks. I think it's called I don't know how the translation, the power of intention or something like that. And what I see, it's like, I think Kevin and Esther Hicks are very similar, but I think Kevin really explains better and order every piece, because it's almost the same. And I don't know, because it explains so well the emotional guidance system and everything. But with Kevin, you can pick like the puzzle. You can put all the puzzles, in a good order. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Kevin has a way of
Systematically stacking the information in the perfect order.
So
Yeah.
I think that really helps. And thank you for today.
Oh, and thank you all
everyone.
for today. Thank you for
all
your participation.
What was that, Jamie? Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dark there now. Look at it.
Yeah.
I can hardly see you.
So we look forward to the next session.
Yep, we look forward to the next session, and may you never be the same again. Thank you all, and
Thank
bye
you.
for now.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.